Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take those dense stacks of sources and distill them into pure, consumable insight for you, the learner.
Today we're doing something a little different. We're stepping away from the big global trends.
We're focusing on something much smaller, something deeply human, the spontaneous eruption of art from the utterly ordinary.
Right, and we're going to be dissecting a single moment of creative chance, all documented in the Artist Journal podcast from Northwind Illustrations.
So our mission for you today is a really microscopic look at an artist's journal entry. We want to understand how a pure accident becomes art.
Exactly. We're not just here to admire the final piece, which is called Rain, Reflection, and the Hidden Horse. We want to get into the mechanics of it. How does an artist leverage pure random chance?
And the piece is part of a larger series called What Do You See? So we're going to trace this whole journey.
From the very beginning.
Yeah, from this quiet everyday moment to the dramatic discovery, and then finally to the philosophy behind it all.
So let's start where the artist started. In a moment of forced stillness.
Okay, so picture this. It's a rainy morning. The artist is doing the school run. It's that moment we all know, right? You're just sitting in the car waiting.
Maybe a little bored, a little impatient.
Exactly. And the sources really emphasize the atmosphere. The artist said it was like the world was whispering instead of speaking.
Mm-hmm. That feeling of being in a bubble with just the soft rhythm of the rain on the windscreen.
That's the one.
And that stillness, it's not just background noise. It's a cognitive prerequisite.
What do you mean by that?
Well, most of us, when we're stuck in the car waiting, what do?
Reach for the phone.
Immediately, we fill that empty space. But the artist didn't. They let their mind wander, and that passive noticing is what opened the door.
And then this little impulse strikes. Capture this moment.
Yeah, but not the whole scene. This is the crucial part.
Right. They didn't take a picture of the street or the sky. They leaned in.
Deliberately.
And focused only on the windscreen. Just the rain falling on the glass.
It was a very specific technical choice. They were capturing the texture, the tiny patterns the water was making. It was documentation, but with incredibly selective framing.
And that was it for the moment. They saved the photo to their phone and, got on with their day.
Yeah.
The big discovery hadn't happened yet.
Not yet. And that time lag is so important to the process. The brain needs a bit of distance from the moment of capture to really process what it's seeing.
Which brings us to the really fascinating part of this deep dive.
The aha moment.
Yes. So later that day, the artist opens the photo again, maybe just scrolling through their camera roll, and that's when it hits them.
A blinding flash of recognition.
They saw a horse.
And not a vague, oh, that kind of looks like, no. The description is clear, bold, almost charging out of the frame.
I mean, think about that. The head, the mane, all this energy, formed by nothing but rain, reflection, and pure accident. It's incredible.
It is astonishing. But it's also, scientifically explainable. This is a spectacular case of what we call pareidolia.
Oh, right. That's the thing where you see faces in toast or animal shapes in clouds.
Precisely. Our brains are absolute machines when it comes to pattern recognition. We're wired to find familiar shapes in random stimuli.
So everyone experiences this.
Everyone does. But what makes this art is not the experience of pareidolia, but the attention the artist paid to the trigger and the decision to elevate that random perception.
Okay, but I have to stop you there. If the artist deliberately chose the framing, leaned in, focused on that texture with an artistic eye, can we really call it a pure accident? Wasn't there intent from the very beginning?
That is a fantastic question. It's a critical nuance, and it really gets to the heart of what the artist is doing here. They are acting as a curator of accident.
A curator of accident. I like that.
It's like the concept of the found object in art history. Think of Duchamp and the ready-mades.
Right. Where the art isn't in the making of the object, but in the selection and presentation of it.
Exactly. The artist's genius wasn't in creating the horse. It was in creating the conditions for the universe to create it and then recognizing it.
So let's talk about those conditions, the physics of it. How does rain on a windscreen become a horse?
Well, think about what's happening. First, you've got the curved glass of the windshield, which is already distorting light.
Okay.
Then you add the water. Each droplet, each stream acts like a tiny, imperfect lens. Light is being bent, refracted all over the place.
So the image isn't really made of the rain itself.
No. It's made from the complex play of reflected light bouncing off the water, combined with the refracted light passing through it all. It was just a perfect, momentary alignment of water, light, and viewing angle.
The ultimate unintentional composition.
Which is why the artists knew they had to be transparent. They had to show their work, so to speak.
Right, and the source material makes a big deal of this. They always show you the original photo first.
The raw, unedited, rain-on-windscreen photo.
And then they show you the artwork. It's like Exhibit A.
It proves that the image wasn't cropped or manipulated. The horse was already there, entirely contained within the original frame. All the artist did was bring the pattern out from the noise.
And that act, that simple presentation, is what turns this from just a cool photo into a philosophical statement about seeing.
Yes. It shifts the whole conversation, which brings us to the bigger series this is a part of, What Do You See?
It's not just about what they saw, it's an invitation.
It's an instruction manual for being attentive. The artist's philosophy is right there. Sometimes the magic is already there, waiting for someone to stop and look twice.
I love that.
And they really bring the audience into this. In the journal, they actually tell you, the listener, to pause the episode if you need to, take your time, before they reveal their own interpretation.
That's fantastic. It's like they're handing over creative responsibility.
It is. It's a very democratic view of art. It's saying, I may have curated the accident, but your experience, what you see, is what completes the work.
So the artist's statement, your interpretation matters just as much as mine, isn't just a nice phrase.
Not at all. It's the core idea. The art isn't a fixed object. It's a living dialogue between the frame and the viewer's mind. The artist asks the question, and the audience provides the answers.
Which raises a question about value then. If the art is in the seeing and the selecting, what are you actually buying when you buy the piece?
You're buying the story. You're buying the proof, the narrative of that discovery, and the physical object that anchors it.
And for anyone listening who is struck by that story and wants to own that piece of curated chance.
The artist gave some very clear instructions on that.
Yes, they did. If this artwork speaks to you, if you want to know when Rain, Reflection, and the Hidden Horse will be available as a limited drop,
you should subscribe to the Artist Journal podcast.
The place to go is nwin.substack.com. That's
there, and you'll get the notification the moment it's released. It's the final step in that journey from a boring car ride to a tangible piece of art.
So, to summarize our whole deep dive here, we started with a simple, rainy morning.
A moment of pure observation.
And we followed it all the way to this profound idea that the world is constantly creating these little artistic blueprints, these moments of unintentional composition.
And all they require is our attention. The entire story hinges on the power of just seeing.
The stillness let the artist notice the texture.
And the mental distance let them recognize the pattern. The pareidolia that physics had scribbled on the glass.
So the real takeaway here isn't just about art. It's about how you can apply this to your own life.
That's the challenge we want to leave you with.
If masterpieces are hiding in plain sight, in reflections, in puddles, in those moments of boredom we try so hard to avoid, what are you missing?
What common, overlooked moment in your day might hold some hidden insight, or even a piece of accidental art, just waiting for you to stop and look twice?
A great thought to end on. Thank you for listening.
And thank you for seeing with us.